was the night before Christmas, and all through the house, not a creature was stirring, not even my dog, Miles. But there was some noise on the TV, I'm told. It was playing Disney Channel, the holiday episodes of old. Bro, I really cannot take myself serious. Today, we're going to be watching and discussing every Disney Channel holiday episode. Let's call this video a Lakia JT Christmas special. Look at the ambiance. It's giving Christmas special. If you're like me, growing up, the holiday season was like the highlight of the year, all right? And as we get older, Christmas just doesn't Christmas the same. You understand what I'm saying? Like, it's just not what it was back in the day. So I thought, what better way to get into the holiday Christmas spirit than taking it back to Disney Channel with a little bit of nostalgia. This is a little bit different because this is not a full reaction, so here's how it's gonna go. I watched a total of about 50 holiday episodes from Disney Channel. And so for every episode, we're pretty much gonna do a little recap, and throughout the recap, I'm going to insert my reactions. You'll see how it goes once you continue watching. This is actually a new segment that I'm starting on my channel called Recaptions. Recap and reaction together. I actually got this formatting idea from another YouTuber named Seamus Gorman. Gotta put that out there, you know, like I'm not gonna plagiarize, like I created my sources. Now, some of these episodes I've never seen before, some of these shows I've never seen before, so we're pretty much gonna be taking a deep dive through the holiday episodes of Disney, through the generations. Like, this is about 20 years of Disney Channel we're going through. So grab some snacks, get some hot chocolate, get your blankets, because I know it's gonna be a long one, and get comfortable because like we're going through 20 years of Disney. Let's get into it.
Welcome to Fall Holidays.
Tis the season for Fall Holidays. And Disney Channel is celebrating all month long.
Yes!
With all new episodes.
Merry Christmas, everybody!
Here's my list.
Just the best Christmas ever. Happy New Year!
And the brand new special event, Austin and Jessie and Allie All-Star New Year.
Deck
The halls
with Disney Channel.
this December on Disney Channel.
The first show we're going to talk about is Even Stevens. And this episode is called Heck of a Hanukkah.
You know, Louis should really be here. He loves this story.
Oh, he's probably trying to find the gifts.
Well, don't worry. He's not going to find them this year.
This episode starts with Louis searching Ren's room for Hanukkah presents. Apparently, this is something that he does every year, except this year, the presents are hidden exceptionally well, where no one would ever find them. Inside of a treasure chest with a note on top that says, "Clean this out, Louis."
That's the one place they know I'd never look.
Very inconspicuous. So Louis finds the presents. He takes the presents to his room, unwraps the presents, and then accidentally throws the presents outside of the window. And I'm sorry, like, aren't you a bit old to be opening your presents early? Like, I feel like I get being curious, but you open every single gift.
Louis Anthony Stevens, why did you throw the Hanukkah presents out the window?
And it's like, you already planning to get caught because what are you gonna do, rewrap the gifts? His family yells at him for ruining the presents, and he gets grounded for Hanukkah.
Look, I got a little crazy, so I opened the presents. Come on, guys, seriously. I tried. Enough.
You are grounded for Hanukkah.
So Louis comes to the conclusion that it would be better if he wasn't born.
Who cares? I don't belong down there anyway. I don't belong in this family. They'd be better if I was never born.
Because he opened his presents before Hanukkah, and everyone was mad at him. It's like, sir, you did the bad thing. What's not clicking? Then an It's a Wonderful Life sequence ensues, and he gets a visit from his great. How many greats there? 1, 2, 3, 4. Great grandmother Booby, who shows him what his family would be like if he wasn't born. The family has a replacement son named Curtis, who's the pride and joy of the family.
Did you hear that, kids? Your little brother is a superstar.
Ren and Donnie aren't the perfect siblings. In fact, Ren is a wild chick with a biker boyfriend, and Donnie is a wuss who is insecure and anxious. So the family is pretty much miserable and lifeless until Louis pops up, and they discover laughter for the first time. And Louis has the realization that, you know what, my family would suck if I wasn't here. Maybe their life wouldn't be better without me. Maybe I do add something to the family. So he wakes up from his dream sequence to find out that he's not grounded anymore, and he celebrates Hanukkah with the family. At the end, our great grandma Bubby Rose shows up with the presents in perfect condition, the ones that Louis had dropped out of the window earlier, and then she disappears before anyone can ask any questions. It truly was a Hanukkah miracle. And my thing is, Louis learned absolutely nothing in this episode, he learned that his family would suck without him. I'm kind of the highlight. I'm kind of the joy. Like, I'm kind of the charisma for the family. Like, if I wasn't here, what would the family be without me? I feel like there was several lessons to be learned, and he learns none of them.
So, how many days till Christmas?
Regardless, Shia LaBeouf is literally phenomenal. Like, I honestly forgot how funny this man was. Like, he deserved to be the lead in the show. Classic episode, give it an 8.6 out of 10. The next show we're going to be talking about is Recess. Now, if you haven't noticed, we're going in chronological order to like when the show came out. So like the older Disney Channel shows going to be in the beginning, and like the newer shows like Living Maddie, Jessie, Ant Farm, whatever, towards like, you know, they're going to be in the far back. Next show is Recess. Recess is about the life of 6 fourth graders at recess, essentially. This episode is called Yes, Mikey, Santa Does Exist. Oh, it's called Yes, Mikey, Santa Does Shave. Oh, that makes sense.
What you doing, Hank?
Getting ready for the blizzard. It's gonna be a white Christmas.
White Christmas? Get real, man. We haven't had snow on Christmas since I was in preschool.
Now, it's been a hot minute since I watched a singular Recess episode, but I immediately, within like the first 10 minutes, was like, oh yeah, I remember why this was so good. The main plot follows Mikey, as he's the only one in his friend group who still believes in Santa.
Mikey, let me explain.
No, you don't have to. It's very clear. You all think there's no Santa. Santa's real. And if you guys don't believe it, then I'll just have to prove it to you.
Did I believe in Santa in 4th grade? Like, I don't know. While trying to prove Santa is real to his friends, he ends up proving that Santa isn't real to himself.
All this time I've been a fool, believing in something that wasn't true. I used to wait up to hear the hooves on our roof. I used to leave cookies and milk for him to eat. But now I know the truth.
So this leads Mikey to lose faith in Christmas as a whole, and he no longer wants to play Santa in the Christmas play that he was casting. Now that he realized Santa isn't real, he doesn't want to participate in anything Christmas. But in the end, he ends up having a change of heart when he runs into this old guy.
Just because you can't see something with your eyes or hear it with your ears doesn't mean it's not real. Some things exist in here.
In your heart?
Sure. If you can believe in Santa in your heart, then he is real.
So at the end of the episode, once Mikey performs in the play, the old man appears with a letter that Mikey had originally ripped up early in the episode, but the letter is now in perfect condition, which can only mean one thing.
That means, yeah, Santa shaved.
I think the more important message there is that Santa's black. This is a great episode, so nostalgic. I give it an 8.5 out of 10. Next show we're going to talk about is Lizzie McGuire. Lizzie McGuire follows the plot about a girl named Lizzie as she navigates the ups and downs of adolescence, pretty much. This episode is called Extreme Xmas. This is very much a classic episode that I've seen a bunch of times.
How are we rating this year's Santa?
Well, off the beaten path, scraggly beard, and no gut.
There's a Christmas parade in a few days, and Lizzie is hoping to win first place with her rock and roll Christmas float. But she needs help from her friends and family if she hopes to get the float done in time for the parade. Okay, boom, she needs help from her family. So her family comes to help her, but then suddenly they decide, you know what, actually Lizzie, we're not gonna help you. We're gonna go eat lunch with this random old man that we just met this day. So like, F that float, we're hungry. Then later in the episode, when Santa's elf, I actually don't even know why I'm quoting because he's actually Santa's elf, retirement home floods. Like, how's your retirement home? Like, don't you live at the no pool?
Navi's gonna be staying with us for a few days.
Yeah, the plumbing's busted in his retirement home, so he's got nowhere to stay till it's fixed.
And so everyone decides to F the float again and go help this man with his plumbing issues.
I can do the plumbing. I've got the tools. I've taken a couple of courses. We'll have it fixed in a couple of days.
I'll help. Count me in.
Yeah.
So obviously Lizzie is very upset about this because what about her float? The amount of time she says, what about my float? Is literally like, I just need to point it out. She says, what about my float? Like at least 10 times this episode.
But what about my rock and roll Christmas float? What about my float, Gordo? But what about my float? But what about my float?
Then Lizzie gets a visit in her dreams from the elf, who tries to help her remember what Christmas is all about because apparently she's overreacting about this whole float competition. A Christmas Carol and Charlie Brown plot fusion ensues, and Lizzie gets a visit from her family, who try to help her remember the true meaning of Christmas.
For I bring you tidings of great joy. For unto you is born this day in the city of David a child, who shall be your savior. And that's the real meaning of Christmas, Lizzie McGuire.
Lizzie learns that Christmas isn't about winning a competition, but it's about being there to help people when they're in need. and spending time with family, right? That's the lesson. She wakes up from her dream and she gives up on her chances of finishing the float to help her family fix the plumbing issue, which, by the way, they made zero progress on. Y'all ditched me. Y'all ditched me. So y'all can go fix this man's plumbing and y'all have zero plumbing skills. I'm trying to understand, like, let's make that make sense. Y'all have zero plumbing skills. Y'all want to help this man with his plumbing. Anywho, Lizzie magically and suddenly has plumbing knowledge.
Okay, we need to change out the main lines and use step-down couplings.
Wow, how did you think of that, Lizzie? That could work.
Apparently, the plumbing knowledge just came to her. Like, she just knew what to do in that moment. It just came to her. That's what she said. It just came to her.
I don't know. It just kind of came to me.
At the end of the episode, Lizzie's float is magically fixed and it's entering into the competition. And none other than Santa, aka Steven Tyler from Aerosmith, is performing Santa Claus is Coming to Town on top of her float. Steven Tyler is Santa confirmed in the Lizzie McGuire universe. I like the lesson about putting the needs of others before yourself, you know what I'm saying, helping people during the Christmas time, like holiday season, like Jesus is the reason for the season. But it's like, I don't feel like she deserved to learn this lesson. Like, y'all agreed to help her with the float and then y'all just dipped. Don't tell me you're gonna do something and just don't do it. This episode was way more interesting as a kid. It wasn't that good watching it now. I give it like a cute little 6 out of 10. That was Lizzie McGuire. Next up, we have the Proud Family. The Proud Family. What? You and me will always be tied. The Proud Family is about a 14-year-old girl named Penny as she's navigating life with her crazy family and shady friends. And this episode is called 7 Days of Kwanzaa.
Oscar, give those people a couple of dollars.
Give? Nobody gives me anything.
It's Christmas, Oscar. They're a family and they need help. Maybe that could be us.
When we get the credit card bills next month, that will be us.
While out Christmas shopping, the Prouds run into a homeless family and invite them over to celebrate the holidays.
Can we get out of here?
After I finish this fish sandwich. Hey, we've been looking all over for you.
Now, Oscar know he greedy for no reason, bro.
Would you like to come to our house tomorrow for dinner?
Penny, baby, I'm sure these nice people already have their dinner plans.
That means we'll need some way cross-town money.
You don't even have a cross-town invitation.
The way they said they needed way cross-town money, I would have thought this was a scam. Like, I know you're in a homeless shelter, but y'all got your hand out a little too much. The family's pretty eccentric. They're far from conventional. They embrace homelessness under the guise of being liberated from corporate America.
Yeah, I used to be just like you. Bending over backwards to maintain my things. Tires for the car.
It's like they're romanticizing homelessness as if people choose it. I don't gotta take care of this, I don't gotta take care of that. Like, it's so free being homeless, and I'm just thinking, like, girl, people who are homeless do not choose to be homeless. So the family comes over for Christmas.
Good morning, my brother.
What are you doing here?
My brother. How can I help you, my brother? Please, my brother, talk to me, my brother.
Feliz Navidad.
Feliz Navidad.
Here, baby.
Feliz Navidad. After the family leaves, unbeknownst to Oscar and the rest of the Prouds, the same homeless family comes back the literal next day to celebrate Kwanzaa. And they come back every day after that until Kwanzaa is over.
We thought since you were nice enough to invite us into your home, we wanted to invite you into our home.
But you don't have a home.
Our spiritual home.
I'm sorry, they oversteering their welcome. Not y'all coming in uninvited to celebrate a holiday we don't even celebrate. Now y'all doing too much. Like, y'all were barely invited to Christmas. Alright, like, this episode is more so focused on Oscar. He starts off as a Grinch and a Scrooge. He didn't want to invite the family over for Christmas. He's selfish and overall greedy the entire episode. Then towards the end, after the homeless family teaches them the ways and traditions of Kwanzaa, he softens up and becomes more generous and caring. So after Kwanzaa, the Prouds go to visit the homeless family at the shelter. But when they arrive, there's no record of them being there. Instead, there's a white homeless family that has the same names as the black homeless family.
Stephanie, and you're Joseph and your wife is Margaret.
How did you know?
Yeah, I don't really know what's going on there. Like, they end up helping the white homeless family because they can't find a black homeless family. And I guess the lesson here is this.
They taught us how to celebrate our family and our heritage and how to share it with others. But most important of all, they made me realize how lucky we are to have each other.
I think you're right.
I love you guys.
Solid episode, a bit preachy, but the Proud Family is usually kind of preachy. They kind of like to teach you these like lessons or whatever. It's kind of weird, but nonetheless extremely funny. 7.7 out of 10. Next show we're going to talk about is Lilo and Stitch. Lilo and Stitch is about the adventures of a girl named Lilo and her pet alien named Stitch. And this episode is called Topper.
Here in Hawaii, we say Mele Kaliki Maka. You try.
Mele Kaliki blah blah.
Mele Kaliki blah blah. This is Stitch's first holiday, and it's up to Lilo to teach her alien friend how to Christmas correctly.
Follow me, and I'll show you the best part about Christmas.
So this episode starts off with the old let's search for our Christmas gifts that our parents have hidden exceptionally well where no one will find them trope.
It's no use. I hid the presents extra good this year.
Lilo immediately finds them, but she prevents Stitch from opening them because Lilo has common sense and she knows that you're not supposed to open your Christmas presents before Christmas. Lewis?
No, you can't open
This is where she hid the presents?
You never open presents before Christmas.
So this is our first A-plot, B-plot episode. In the B-plot, Gantu finds a doormat experiment pod to send to his boss Hamsterville for Christmas, so he goes to get the gift wrapped at the mall. Lilo also takes Stitch to the mall because if you want to get this Christmas experience, babe, head to the mall on Christmas Eve. Like, you're going to get the Christmas experience, you're going to get the Christmas rage. Like, Christmas Eve shopping is the worst thing you could ever do to yourself, personally. Stitch sees Gantu getting his present wrapped and mailed out, so he goes around the entire island stealing everyone's presents in order to find the experiment pod Gantu had wrapped because he thinks it's some type of evil scheme or whatever. It's giving very much How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Cue the Christmas montage. Christmas montages are my favorite.
You were after an experiment pod the whole time? I'm sorry. I thought you were just after the Christmas presents.
The old I can't understand my alien pet trope. Once Leo understands why Stitch is out here stealing everyone's presents, they have a showdown of sorts with Gantu at the mall until everyone realizes that this is just one huge misunderstanding. Gantu wasn't trying to conduct evil, but he was trying to mail a Christmas present to his boss.
I ruined Christmas. You're the one who took the present I was planning to give to Hamsterville.
You were going to give Hamsterville a gift?
In the end, Gantu doesn't get to mail the Christmas present to his boss because in the spirit of Christmas, he gives the present to a little girl. But why would you give the girl the dormant experiment? Who then ends up giving it to Jumba? Who then ends up handing it to Lilo? Who then ends up putting it in the water? And then boom, the dormant experiment is not dormant anymore. And the experiment happened to be a star, and they use it as a topper for the Christmas tree. Solid episode. I'm gonna give it a 6.9 out of 10. Next up we have Kim Possible. Kim Possible is about a girl who's an average high schooler by day and a super villain fighter by night. I don't know, call her Beeper if you want to reach her. This episode is called A Very Possible Christmas.
Honey, it's beautiful.
It's all Jim and Tim.
So, Ron, Kim's best friend, is bummed because his favorite Christmas special, Snowman Hank, has been canceled.
They canceled Snowman Hank? No!
I get it, babes. Like, I've been there. Netflix literally just canceled Shadow and Bone, and like, I'm in tears. I really wanted to see Cassidy and Edge. Like, I want to see that ship sail, but we'll never get it. Like, I get it, Ron. So, in an attempt to cheer him up, Kim gives Ron his Hanukkah present early, which happens to be a super sweet and heartfelt.
It's a cyber scrapbook.
Essentially, it's just a digital photo album, but that's what they call it. Ron starts to feel really bad because all he did was give her Bueno Nacho Bueno Bucks.
You got her Bueno Nacho Bueno Bucks?
Well, she seemed to like them last year.
Which is probably the equivalent to getting someone a gift card, or no, it's probably the equivalent of getting someone coupons. It's like, it's the thought that counts, but you could have thought a little bit harder. You got me coupons, bro. Like, I'm gonna use them, but like, so in an attempt to rectify his super lame gift, he decides to secretly take on the mission to stop Draken. So Kim will be able to spend Christmas with her family instead of like out fighting crime. Only Ron and Draken get stranded at the North Pole, and Kim ends up having to save them anyways. Actually, she ends up wasting a bunch of time traveling across the world looking for this man. They literally go to London, Japan, the Mediterranean, and then the North Pole all in the span of like 4 hours. What flight is that? Like, Southwest Airlines ain't got it like that. Meanwhile, while Kim is out looking for Ron and Draken end up bonding over their shared love of Snowman Hank.
For Snowman Hank!
Snowman Hank.
Which leads to a truce. In the Possibles, Ron, Draken, and Shigo decide to spend Christmas together with a holiday party. Have a ring-a-ling, jingling, Christmas. My favorite part of the episode is when Shigo called Kim a loser. This is a great episode. 8.8 out of 10. Deck the hall with boughs of holly. Let's get into the next show. Next show up is That's So Raven. That's So Raven is about a girl in high school who has psychic powers that end up hurting more than helping her. This episode is called Escape Clause.
'Tis the season to be jolly. Fa la 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 la.
This is another I can't wait till Christmas to open up my presents episode. Raven has a vision of one of her gifts, which happened to be a necklace, and she can't resist the urge to open the present and wear it to school.
Listen, I'll have it back under the tree and my parents will never know, 'cause isn't it beautiful?
It's jewelry. I'm a guy, which adds up to I don't care.
It's funny that Eddie says that when he has a fat chain around his neck. Like, did you not see what you put on this morning? Like, that's jewelry. Chelsea convinces Raven to let her wear the necklace for the day. And when she tries to take the necklace off, the necklace gets stuck, and in a dramatic turn of events, it ends up flying out of the window and it gets destroyed by a lawnmower.
Oh, and there, and all over there.
So naturally, the only solution is to fess up, own up to our mistakes, and tell our parents that the necklace is ruined. Ha 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 ha. So you thought. This is a Disney episode, and no one takes the right decision the first time. So Raven, Eddie, and Chelsea come up with an elaborate plan to ditch school tomorrow. Actually, they ditch Mr. Petrocelli's class. That's important to remember. Ditch school to go to the mall and buy a replacement necklace because she doesn't want to ruin her parents' Christmas. And they actually end up succeeding in this endeavor. They go to the mall, they get the necklace, plan a success. But of course, there has to be some more drama.
Forget the shoe sale. Let's take a picture with Santa. It'll be a souvenir of the day we cut.
It's literally truancy. You're skipping school. Like, why would you want evidence of that? This leads to a Santa chase because Santa happens to be Mr. Petrocelli from school and he notices them.
Oh, out of the way! Move, rats!
Although all is well, she escapes Santa. She replaces the necklace. Raven misses out on a lot of holiday family traditions, running around trying to rectify her opening her presents early.
I didn't get to, make the gingerbread house with my dad, which I've been doing since I was little. And I didn't even get to put the angel on top of the Christmas tree with my mom.
She learns that her choice to open her Christmas presents early ruined no one's Christmas but her own. In the end, Santa helps her return to the moment before she opens the presents, and Raven decides she will go caroling with her parents instead.
The Baxter Quartet is back.
Unlike Even Stevens, the character actually learned a lesson and faced consequences. This is literally top 3, if not number 1 for me, as far as holiday Christmas episodes go. 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. Like, I'm 10 out of 10. Now, before we continue, we have to talk about holiday tropes. More specifically, Disney's overuse of them. Throughout my journey and throughout this recap, you're going to experience the many rinsed and recycled holiday tropes that Disney likes to sprinkle in throughout each episode. One of them being the let's open our presents before Christmas trope. Now, we already seen a few of those. Another one of them being the let's give away our presents to the less fortunate kids trope. You'll see a lot of those coming up as well. And the most heinous of them all is the Santa swooping in at the end to save the day trope. I hate that one with the fiery passion of 1,000 flaming swords. Now, at first, these tropes aren't terrible, but once you watch 50+ episodes, it starts to become tiring. Just a warning. Oh, and we can't forget Disney's biggest holiday episode villain, the fruitcake.
It's a fruitcake.
Trudy.
He brought us a fruitcake. Let's get him.
I've never had fruitcake in my life, but Disney has convinced me that it is the bottom of the barrel of food. Anywho, let's get back into the recap. Next show we have Phil of the Future. Phil of the Future is about a boy named Phil and his family. Phil of the Future is about a 22nd century kid who gets stuck and is forced to live in the 21st century. It sucks to be us, doesn't it? It sucks to live in the 21st century. Right, Phil? This is a down memory lane episode. Phil, our main character, tells Keely, his best friend, I think, or are they dating? I don't know. Phil tells Keely the story of how he met her when his family first arrived in Pickford. Remember, this show is about a family from the 22nd century who gets stuck in the 21st century, and this episode is pretty much the day that happened. This episode breaks almost every time traveling law known to man. There is no laws. There's no laws to the time traveling in this show. When Pim and Phil go to retrieve a coin at the high school, they accidentally break the Yuletide star Keely was in charge of.
The whole town's gonna hate me. I destroyed the Yuletide star.
No, Keely. You destroyed Christmas!
Then they go back in time to stop themselves from breaking the star, but the star ends up breaking again.
The plan worked perfectly. Until... Oh, this is not good.
And so Phil, by himself this time, goes back in time to steal the star before it breaks. And then he goes to a time period where the star is already broken to replace that star with the star that he stole from the past. It makes more sense in the actual episode. Time traveling is confusing in itself. Just throw out anything you know about time traveling, this is how it works. While hearing the story, Lloyd, the dad, realizes that during Phil's time traveling excursions, he was the one to break the time machine, causing him to be trapped in the 21st century.
After each of your little joyrides in the time machine, did you remember to recalibrate the temporal pump valve?
Was I supposed to?
Yes.
Then it's revealed like 30 seconds later that if Phil hadn't broken the time machine and if they had left when they originally attended, they would have got trapped in this massive time storm, and so Phil essentially ended up saving them. So Phil saved the day.
If Phil hadn't broken the time engine and we left when I wanted us to, we would have been trapped in a massive time storm.
And that's pretty much the episode. It's kind of boring, not gonna lie. I give it a 5 point. Actually, I'm gonna give it a 4.5 out of 10. It wasn't very Christmassy at all. I grew up watching this, but I wouldn't watch it again. Next up, we have The Sweet Life of Zach and Cody, which is about mischievous twin brothers who live in a hotel. A massive snowstorm has hit Boston, and Zach and Cody's plans to spend Christmas with their dad has been ruined, along with many of the other guests at the Tipton Hotel who are now snowed in. So while trapped together, Cody notices Kurt and Carrie getting along very well, and he comes to the conclusion that his parents must be getting back together.
This whole mom and dad getting back together thing, it would take a miracle. Well, it is Christmas, and Christmas was meant for miracles.
When in reality, they just decided to get along this Christmas for the sake of their sons. They're not getting back together.
I know you were hoping your dad and I would get back together. But even if we're not getting remarried, we're
still a family.
There's also a Secret Santa plotline with Maddie. Maddie tricks London into being her Secret Santa in hopes that she's gonna get a really expensive gift from our rich heiress.
If you get London as your Secret Santa, you are sure to get an extravagant gift. Good luck.
Honestly, if I had a rich friend, I most definitely doing the same thing Maddie just did, bro. But it backfires tremendously.
A blanket?
No, silly. It's a sweater.
With 3 arms and no neck hole?
London knitted that sweater in a matter of, 2 hours? Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense as to why there's 3 armholes. The episode ends with a pregnant woman named Mary and a man named Joseph traveling together on Christmas Eve. The woman goes into labor whilst trapped in the elevator with Zach and Cody, and then everyone begins to realize that, hey, this story sounds kind of familiar.
But there's no room for them at the inn.
And a child is born.
This story sounds a little familiar. It's a Jesus story, and apparently Lennon doesn't get it.
I don't get it.
Pick up a freaking Bible. London Tipton, please. This is a really funny episode. Arnold was most definitely my favorite character. He carries the comedy in this episode. He carries the comedy in the show.
Joy to the world! Let's burn some chairs!
Classic episode, 9 out of 10. I gave it a 9 out of 10. This is for sure top 3. Next episode, we have American Dragon, Jake Long. American Dragon is about a boy who could turn into the Mac Daddy Dragon from the NYC. You heard? That show 8. Like, that intro 8. I'm the Mac Daddy Dragon from the NYC. You heard? He's the American Dragon. Period. So this episode, plot-wise, wasn't really interesting to me. I didn't really enjoy it. This was my first time watching it as well. So it starts off in the forest where we see a baby Sasquatch get separated from his parents after some workers cut down the tree he was resting in. This enrages the other Sasquatches and they go on a rampage throughout the city looking for their baby Sasquatch. Meanwhile, Jake is tired of his family's whack and lame Christmas traditions. His words, not mine. And he wants to try out some new family traditions.
Do I have to?
Oh, sweet mother of mistletoe, son. It's a family tradition.
I know. But this year, let's say we try out some new family traditions.
Which isn't entirely wrong. Why do we have to do the same thing every year? Like, let's spice it up a little bit. So Jake spends the entire episode dodging his family and chasing after the baby Sasquatch until he returns it to his family. He also helps his friend Trixie's dad get home for the holiday.
Your dad? The Colonel's home?
He'll be here for New Year's, I promise.
But it's just not Christmas without Dad.
He helps him after hearing that even though Trixie hates eggnog, she loves drinking eggnog with her dad. It's one of their traditions.
I know, but I never said I like drinking it. Ooh, and the smell. Player, please. But my daddy loves that nasty stuff. So every year we make it together.
This in turn helps Jake realize that even though his family traditions may be whack, it's their whack family traditions.
And I'm sorry if you feel our traditions are a little, oh, how did you put it? Whack?
They're not whack. Okay, yeah, but maybe they are. But you know what? They're our whack traditions.
I just have one thing to say. I love Dante Bosco's voice. If I could marry a voice, it'd be Dante Bosco's. Next up, we have The Emperor's New School. The Emperor's New School is a spin-off show from the movie The Emperor's New Groove. If you don't know what that is, I'm sorry. And this episode is called A Giftmas Story.
Ho, ho, ho! Congratulations, my adoring fans. You're about to get your holiday wish. An extra-large serving of me.
I honestly forgot how much of a sassy little princess that Kuzco is. Anyways, for this episode, I would give us a brief run through of it, but Crunk so conveniently does it for us, I'm just gonna let him take it away.
To get off Santos' naughty list, Kuzco's making up for all the bad stuff he did this year. Long story short, if Kuzco finishes his list tonight, he gets his wish to become emperor.
What?
So there you have it. Kuzco is on Papa Santos' naughty list. Papa Santos is their version of Santa Claus. And he tries to undo every bad thing he's ever done so he can end up on Papa Santos' good list and get his Christmas wish for Christmas, which is to be the emperor. He almost succeeds, but he can't complete the last task on the list, which is to make a little boy believe in Papa Santos again after he personally made him not believe in it.
You're just trying to trick me so you can make fun of me again.
Nuh-uh. I really went to Papa Santos' ice fortress.
Kuzco personally ruined this man's belief in Papa Santos, so he has to undo that and make the boy believe again. But he fails. So to get his wish, Kuzco turns himself back into a llama and he agrees to help Papa Santos pull his rickshaw after one of Papa Santos' llamas freezes. And it's the way that this man was prancing. It's like, sir, get on board with the rest of the llamas. What are you doing?
It was a lot easier once I quit trying and let the other llamas do all the work.
In the end, Kuzco earns his wish, but he decides to give his wish to the little boy in order to make him believe in Papa Santos again.
Thanks, Papa Santos.
Don't thank me. Thank Kuzco here. He turned himself into a llama to save Giftmas.
Side note, Miley Cyrus voiced one of the characters in this episode.
Cologne? Have you lost your squash? It's too romantic. Means you want to be all sniffing up on him like a hound dog.
As soon as I heard her talk, I immediately knew it was hers. Like, I know that Tennessee country accent from anywhere. This episode was really fun. I watched it again. I gave it a 8 out of 10. Next show we have is Hannah Montana. And this episode is called Killing Me Softly with His Height.
Dad's gonna love the new hair dryer I got him. 3 temperatures, 4 speeds, and an extra long cord for that hard to reach back hair.
This is not a very festive holiday episode. It's more so that the episode takes place during the holiday season. Christmas things happen, but the episode is not about Christmas, if you know what I mean. So Miley snacks herself a hot date. Her words, not mine. With a guy named Connor. Little does she know, he comes in a very small package.
Miley, would you want to go to the holiday carnival with me tonight?
I'd love to.
Is he really short? Is that what the episode title is about? Because he's like short. He looks short, I can't lie. Well, him sitting down, he looks short.
Yeah, face it all. Oh. Miley's just the bigger person.
Yeah, she's literally the bigger person.
Sweet niblets. I got a date with a sweet niblet.
So this episode tries to hit messages of not judging a person by their appearance without getting to know them first. For example, Oliver turns down a girl in the episode because she has really huge feet.
You are turning her down because of one little physical thing.
Little? Miley, Bigfoot called her last week to borrow a pair of her slippers.
Would I not date someone because their feet are too big? I don't think so. And Oliver completely embraces the fact that he's shallow. Like, he don't care. He said, I'm not dating a girl with huge feet. I'm shallow and I'm fine with that. On the date, Miley is having a hard time thinking about anything other than Connor's height.
So, how do you know Oliver?
We met in Little League.
You have your own league? Oh, you mean baseball? I get it now. It went right over my head.
Do short guys like dating girls taller than them, or like do they not care? They're put in various situations where his height makes things really awkward. Okay, now they're just being extra. And after the date, Connor tries to go in for a kiss, and I'm sure you can imagine how that went down.
See you around.
Wait, before you go.
You're a little big for your britches right now. Sir, you don't just get a kiss. You don't just get a kiss. No, it's not happening.
You don't want to kiss me because I'm short.
No!
I mean, yeah, but also, like, do I have to kiss you? It was one date, and I just met you at the mall. Like, I'm not that interested.
You know, I thought you were different.
I am different.
No, you're not. Good night, Miley.
I'm sorry, you're not gonna guilt trip me into not wanting to kiss you. Yeah, it's not because you're short, I'm not interested. And if I'm not interested because you're short, then that's just what it is. So after denying Connor a kiss, Miley has the realization that, you know what, I might just be shallow. And she goes to apologize to Connor, who happens to be working at the mall as an elf. And it's like, Connor, I'm really trying here. Like, I'm really trying here. Like I'm already trying to look past your height, and I come to see you at the mall working as an elf. She asks Connor for a second chance, and he gives her a second chance. Now, it's nice that Miley was able to look past Connor's height, but I don't think she's entirely wrong for not wanting to date this man because he's short. Her personal preference is someone taller. The problem here is that she didn't want to date him until after she found out that he was short. Like, she was all for it when he was sitting down at the table, but once he stood up and she realized that she was looking down, that's when it became a problem. It was false advertising. I thought you were taller, bro. At the end, Billy Ray, the dad, tries to give his little, this is the true meaning of Christmas speech. They try to make it Christmassy, but like, this is hardly a Christmas episode. Like, I'm sorry. And because it's hardly a Christmas episode, I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10. It's a really good episode, but it's not really festive. Next show we're gonna talk about is Phineas and Ferb. Now, Phineas and Ferb has 2 holiday episodes that I saw. The first one is called Phineas and Ferb Christmas Vacation.
There are 2 wondrous weeks for our winter vacation before New Year's and school comes to an end.
I love how they made an entirely new intro just for a holiday episode. Like, now there's a few different plots going on in this episode, so let's start with the first one. Phineas's biggest hero is Santa. I'm gonna let that one sink in. And he wants to repay Santa for all the wonderful things he has done for the world. What has Santa done, for real? He gives presents to kids. I could do that. He wants to repay Santa for all the wonderful things that he's done, and so he builds him a state-of-the-art rest stop lounge.
This is the ultimate rest and relaxation lounge, perfectly tailored to the jolly, Rubenesque world traveler.
Meanwhile, Candace is anxious about what to give Jeremy for Christmas, so she convinces him to write a letter to Santa. That way she can intercept the letter before it's sent off, read the letter, and that way she'll know what to get him for Christmas. Candace, girl, just ask that man. You're doing most.
Brilliant idea! Let's get together and write letters to Santa and be very specific within a reasonable price range. For fun! I'll be over in a bit.
Candace.
But honestly, I get it because I'm the type of person where I don't want anyone to know what I'm going to get them. Like, I want it to be a surprise. So, go off, Candace. This leads to a great musical number where Candace sings about not knowing what Jeremy could possibly want for Christmas.
What does he want? A candy stuffed or a tube of grass?
What does he want?
I don't know, but I'll figure it out.
On the Perry side of things, however, Doofenshmirtz has created a Naughtyinator that's supposed to put the entire town of Danville on the naughty list. The only problem here is that Doofenshmirtz doesn't have any real beef with Christmas. He doesn't hate Christmas, so there's no real reason for him to enact this evil plan.
Don't actually have a problem with Christmas. There's no tragic holiday-related backstory in my past. Christmas was always fine growing up. It wasn't great, it wasn't horrible.
This then leads to another musical number where Doofenshmirtz sings about not hating Christmas.
Halloween's a horror, but I guess I must confess that I really don't hate Christmas.
Honestly, the fact that even Doofenshmirtz doesn't hate Christmas, like, that tells you everything you need to know. Like, it's a superior holiday.
Because what is there to hate? I mean, it's really so subjective.
But I really don't hate Christmas. until he is visited by carolers who didn't give him a reason to hate Christmas.
How dare you! No one barges into my home and demands desserts.
Don't tell me Christmas carolers is enough of a reason to hate Christmas.
So long, Christmas! You're Feliz Navidad to me!
So now the entire town of Danville is on the naughty list, and no one knows why. This leads to another musical number where Phineas and friends sing about where did they go wrong? How could they be on the naughty list?
Where did we go wrong? Please tell me. Where did we go wrong?
Okay, so we'll have Christmas. I simply don't care.
Doofenshmirtz Night Machine breaks, but it's too late for the town of Danville because Santa has already left. So now it's up to Phineas and the gang to deliver presents to the citizens of Danville. While saving Christmas, Candace finds out that the gift that she was already planning to give Jeremy is the gift that he wanted all along.
The silver guitar? But how?
I sold my good necklace.
It's perfect.
Christmas is saved and everyone got what they wished for. Even Phineas, whose only wish this year was to be like Santa.
All I want for Christmas this year is a chance to be like you. Merry Christmas, Phineas.
And at the end of this episode, I really only had one question.
Take a look at this morning's paper.
World peace?
No, this one down here.
Why is Ferb British? The next Phineas and Ferb episode is called A Phineas and Ferb Family Christmas in Swinter. It's a hot summer day and Phineas is looking for a way to cool off. So he decides to film a traditional family Christmas special in the middle of July.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's the 12th annual Phineas and Ferb Family Christmas, brought to you by Winter Breath Toothpaste.
They build an elaborate Christmas set. They have musical numbers. They even have a celebrity guest, Carrie Underwood, or was it Kelly Clarkson? In the second part of the episode, Swinter, Phineas and Ferb makes it snow in the middle of summer, aka Swinter. Next up, we have Sweet Life on Deck. Remember those two mischievous twin brothers who lived in a hotel? Well, now they live on a boat and they go to high school. In this episode, Cody and Bailey are taking donations for needy children.
Please donate to the needy children.
Thank you. Look, Bailey, our first donation.
Oh, great.
They're a little short on donations, so they go ask London if she has anything to spare. Does she have anything to give? You know, because she's the rich heiress and surely she has a few nickels. But amongst her abundance of wealth, London just can't find anything to give. Not even the dust off the walls.
There must be a little something you can donate. Okay, let's see what I can spare. Nope, too gorgeous. Nope, too fabulous. Nope, too sparkly.
Not even the 3 gold bricks that she's leaving for Santa. It's the way that if I was London's roommate, like, I'm Santa tonight. Like,
Santa, you're early. Good thing I already set out the milk and gold bars. London, we're not the real. Ow.
Thank you, little girl. Well, I'll just take these and throw them right in the sleigh.
Because of her selfish and greedy attitude, London is visited by the ghost of mirrors, past, present, and future. She's visited by a talking mirror.
And then,
Get up.
Santa!
no, it's me, your mirror, not Santa. Oh, you slay me.
The mirror says it brought her there to show her how she used to be, but she's pretty much the same way, very bratty. Albeit when Mosby mentions going hang out with the orphans, London is happy about it until she gets a call from her dad that he won't be able to make it, assuming that that is the reason why she's so selfish and greedy, has something to do with her father not being around.
My spirits are fine. I just want to stay here and play with my toys.
Right, London.
That's the past visit. And the present visit, London gets a look at what her friends really think about her, and they don't have really good things to say.
Why don't you just ask London? I'm sure she has plenty to give.
We tried. She wouldn't donate a single thing. She's the most selfish girl I've ever met.
I thought she gave blood yesterday.
Yeah, mine.
Mr. Mosby tells them that London wasn't always like this and that when she was younger, she loved serving the homeless and helping the needy and helping the poor. But now all she does is think of herself. During her future visit, London is old and lonely. And on Christmas Day, she sees no one has given her presents. She's lonely with no friends and no family because her selfishness has pushed everyone away.
I'm sorry I didn't send you a Christmas gift, but after 60 years of not getting one back, I decided enough was enough.
I have nobody.
After her dream, Linda has a change of heart and she decides to sell her presents to buy toys for the orphans. And she learns that it's better to give than to receive.
I just learned that it's better to give than to receive. You know, I really have to appreciate the people around me, or one day they might not be there. And since you guys are always there for me, I got you all gifts!
Now you're talking!
After watching the first 2 minutes of the show, I immediately wanted to sit down and watch the entire thing. I forgot how good this was. Like, Sweet Life of Zack and Cody is my favorite out of the two, obviously, but this show was really good. Like, I forgot how good this show actually was. Sweet Life on Deck. This is a really good episode. I gave it an 8.8 out of 10. Next up, we have Sunny with a Chance. Sunny with a Chance is about a girl who moves to Los Angeles and ends up on a comedy sketch show called So Random. Sunny with a Chance, if I remember correctly, was actually a really decent show. This episode, however, was not my favorite. The entire episode is literally an episode of So Random, right? So this entire episode is just a bunch of mini comedy sketches. And some of the sketches are okay. Most of them are annoying.
On the second day of sickness, my brother came to me. 2 ear infections and his stuffed nose, which is not cool.
There was a really good one from the beginning. Just roll the tape.
Yes, you in the purple.
I mean, it's blue, but that's okay.
That one was cool, and I like the Joe Jonas one. The Joe Jonas one was good also.
Oh my gosh, you got me Joe Jonas for Christmas.
But for the most part, the comedy is very Disney. It's very Disney. I feel like when I was a kid, maybe I liked the comedy in the sketches, but like, nah. So yeah, it was Christmassy, so it'll get a 6 out of 10 for that. Next up, we have Good Luck Charlie, A Duncan Christmas.
'Tis the season. Hi.
Hey, sounding good, Mrs. Duncan.
I know.
I don't know what it is about this white suburban family, but like, I love them. This is probably my favorite white family on Disney. So this episode has about 3 different plot lines. Let's start with Teddy, our main character. Teddy and Spencer are taking Charlie to go take pictures with Santa, but Teddy ends up in jail after getting into a fight with Santa because he was taking too long taking pictures with the other kids. And I get it. Like I'm saying, like Christmas rage is a real thing. All your patience just goes out the window.
How much longer do I have to stay in here?
You aren't going anywhere till we have a trial. Can't have a trial till the judge gets here.
Well, when will that be?
When he puts his judge badge on, knew it. Meanwhile, at the Duncan house, the family is getting ready for their annual, what they call it? Talent show. Grandma Duncan comes at the town and they have the really cliche mother-in-law, daughter-in-law beef.
Although that wreath is in the wrong place.
I like it there.
I'll fix it later.
Bro, it's the way I cannot have an awkward relationship with my husband's mother. They fight pretty much the entire episode, but the main fight they have is who gets to sing Deck the Halls at the family talent show, because Deck the Halls is the only Christmas song in existence.
Deck the halls with boughs of holly.
Oh, whoa. Hang on there, Grandma. I'm singing Deck the Halls.
Sweetheart, well, maybe you should clean the halls before you deck them.
The last plot line is for the men of the show, if you will.
Drop some weight, got totally buffed. Don't make a fuss.
There's something about going from dad bod to like slightly muscular dad bod that really does it. Really does it for me. Bob recruits his son PJ and Gabe to find out what their mother wants for Christmas, because every year he ends up flubbing the gift because Amy has this rule about not spending too much, but there's no real parameters as to what too much is, so he never knows what price range to target for.
Every year, your mom and we make this agreement not to spend too much on each other's presents, but I never know what that means.
And so Gabe comes up with a very genius idea.
All right, so the point is you got the cheap gift covered. Now all you have to do is buy Mom a nice gift and hide them in different places, and after you open Mom's gift to you, you'll know which one to give her.
Gabe, that's why you're the genius, bro. In the end, Amy and Grandma Duncan decide they're gonna duet the song Deck the Halls, and it was still a mess.
Deck the halls with boughs of holly, fa la 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 la.
'Tis the season to be jolly, fa la 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 la.
Okay, it's the way that the grandma wanted to sing so badly, and she has like the worst voice.
Follow me in merry measure, fa la 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 la.
Period, Amy. Amy's who I aspire to be as a mom. Add a little blackness to it though.
Fa la 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 la.
Whatever happened to Bridget Mendler? Like she had like a pretty decent like Disney music career. Ready or not, like what happened to, where's Bridget at? And with the Christmas present debacle, Amy ends up buying Bob a star, like a literal star.
What is it?
I bought you your very own star.
What? How much did that cost?
Wow, thank you, sweetie. Hey, Mom, check it out.
And so where does this go in like the pricing scale? And Bob gives Amy a bracelet, which ended up costing way more than the star.
You must have spent 10 times what I spent.
Oh, now we're gonna talk prices.
Maybe you'll find our gift a little more appropriate.
The foot cushion.
This is from me and PJ.
Oh my goodness, a foot cush!
It's the way I thought that Gabe was trying to help the dad get the mama present. What he was really trying to do is find a free way to give his mom a present. I love this family. This is my favorite white family on Disney Channel. Like, I love this family. And yeah, and I honestly forgot how much of an icon Amy Duncan is.
I flew all the way in from Phoenix and whatnot. And
I'm sorry, Amy Duncan is mother. I forgot how much of a mother, like I forgot how mother she is. She should be a pop cultural icon. Let's get Amy a plaque. This episode gets like a 9.5 out of 10, and I will probably put this on my list, my rewatch list for every year. Next show we have is Shake It Up. Shake It Up is about two teenage girls who become backup dancers in the show. If that sounds boring, it's because it is. The first episode is called Jingle It Up.
I have 2 days off for Christmas, and I am going to devote myself to being a good mom.
Who are you and what have you done with my real mom?
Now, I wasn't a huge fan of Shake It Up, but this episode actually wasn't that bad. Rocky is accompanying Cece at the mall so she can buy her mom a last-minute Christmas present, which is a scarf. But she ends up buying a really expensive purse for herself, and she has no money left over for the scarf. So in true Disney fashion, Cece has to get a job that's supposed to pay her enough money to buy her mama a scarf the day before Christmas. Now, I already told y'all what I think about Christmas Eve shopping. It's the worst thing you can do to yourself. It's the worst thing you can do for yourself. But the problem with this situation is like, what makes you think you're gonna get paid the same day?
Oy, where am I gonna find the fakakta elf?
Excuse me? I hear you need an elf that likes focaccia bread.
Oh, I need money before Christmas, so I get a job immediately before Christmas that's supposed to pay enough for me to get a Christmas present trope? What? She's running around to go find a job as if she's going to get paid immediately. Girl, anywho, on the Rocky side of things, Rocky sees a left behind letter under the Make-A-Wish Christmas tree and decides it's up to her to make this kid's wish come true.
I'm going to play Santa to a needy kid. I'm going in.
It would have been very simple if she just bent down and got the letter.
Little help. Dina?
It's the way this situation didn't have to happen. There's also a really annoying C-plot, if you will, with another one of the characters on the show and their girlfriend.
They may be your family, but I'm the one who may or may not be standing under the mistletoe later.
Guys, meet Dina. She'll be joining us this year.
Wait, are they dating? I thought she was like the desperate side girl who like wants the guy but like never gets the guy and like always gets harshly rejected. Was she not that character? When did they start dating? Girl's a terrible singer and her boyfriend doesn't want to tell her and it's really annoying. It's like, girl, please never sing. Like,
Mama made me much my mac and cheese. Mama made me much my mac and cheese.
she's so annoying. I'm sorry. Like, oh my gosh, I hate it. Like this deep Jersey or whatever accent, Staten Island. Like, I don't know. In the end, Cece ends up returning the purse for the scarf.
I hope you like it.
She got her the purse. I bet she got her the purse. And Rocky gets the present for the little boy who ends up being Cece's little brother who was scamming people.
The GS handheld Mega Game 195?
Were you the guy? He was the... What?
Wait. You're the lonely kid with the single parent?
Yeah, are you that sucker that answered my letter?
That little boy deserves coal for Christmas. Not a bad episode. I give it a 7.5. Ooh, I give it a 7.5. Next episode is called Marry It Up, Season 3, Episode 5.
Hello there, young man. Pip pip cheerio and all that. And what's this scuttlebutt about me being a wimmer?
The main part of this episode revolves around Cece. Her mom has this new firefighter boyfriend, and they don't get along very well. Cece and the boyfriend, not the mom.
Ever since you started going out with my mom, it's like you're just trying to take over everything. The DVR is full of football games. There's weird health food in the fridge. My mom suddenly cares what she looks like. And now you're trying to change Christmas?
The mom over here is Cece arguing with the firefighter because she thinks that he's overstepping and trying to take over her spot in the family or whatever. And so the mom ends up breaking things off with Jeremy. That's his name. Cece refuses to realize and believe that she's the reason why her mom broke up with her boyfriend.
Cece, she's obviously very upset about the breakup. Oh, she said it herself. Breakups happen. She'll get over it.
And so another Christmas Carol plot ensues. This is our third Christmas Carol sequence, bro. And this time it's the ghost of Rocky.
I am the ghost of Christmas Dance.
During the Christmas Carol sequence, Cece witnesses the breakup with her mom and Jeremy, where she hears her mother say that although Jeremy is a great guy, the fact that he doesn't get along with Cece is the reason why, you know, she can't be with him. She's putting her kids before some man, and I respect it.
Because of the tension between you and Cece. I'm sorry, Jeremy. I really like you. But my children are everything to me, and it just isn't going to work out.
Now I'm sure you can guess what happens next. Cece calls the man up, and Jeremy and the mom reconcile. It was fine. It gets a 5 out of 10 for just being fine. Next show we're going to talk about is A Pair of Kings. Twin brothers who look nothing alike and aren't even the same race discover they are the heirs of the throne of some random island. That's the plot.
It's a great island tradition. Everyone on Kinkout decorates a friend and makes them their Christmas pakataki.
It's Christmas?
The Kings are having their first Christmas on the island. And after hearing about the islanders' unique Christmas traditions, they decide to bring their own traditions to the island. Now, surprisingly, out of all the weird traditions on the island, the one thing that's the same as ours, if you will, is the fact that they have elves. Only these elves are huge and mean, and they happen to be the outcast elves that fled the North Pole because they were too big.
What did we learn in anger management?
A mad elf is a bad elf.
Either way, the Kings recruit these elves to make presents for the islanders, but the elves end up quitting because of the harsh treatment that the Kings were giving them.
Let's move it, boys. Move it, move it. Enough! You can't treat us like this!
Leaving the island with no Christmas presents in the end.
Make a big crinkle!
But of course, this is a Christmas episode and there has to be a happy ending. On Christmas morning, the Kings wake up to find out that Christmas wasn't ruined. The one and only Santa decided to help out and bring the islanders presents.
Figured you could use a little help. Sincerely, SC. P.S. Remember, you can never be me.
This episode was pretty solid. I love the show, but the episode was okay. I give it like a 6.5. It was funny. The one who plays, was it Boomer? The guy who plays Boomer, he's hilarious. He also was Caleb, I think. Not Caleb. What was his name? He was in House of Pain. He's funny. Doc Shaw, he's hilarious. Next up is Fish Hooks. I love how we're really tapping shows that I haven't thought about in years. Fish Hooks. Fish Hooks is the school life of 3 domesticated fish. Sometimes I just wonder, like, how did these ideas get greenlit? What made y'all think that kids want to watch a show about 3 fish? To be honest, I don't really know what happens in this episode, okay? It's a bunch of nothing really. It was a funny episode. It's just a bunch of nothing happening. Kyle Massey, who plays Milo, hilarious.
Well, jingle my bells. Could it be? Is it he?
No, it is she, the one and only bee.
Oscar and Milo, 2 out of 3 of the fish, are throwing a Christmas party, but Oscar is out of commission because he has a huge pimple on his face.
I have an enormous pimple. Pimple? That tiny little thing? Girl, you overreacting.
And so he can't possibly show up to the party with the huge pimple. I get it. So Milo gets the help of Santa Fish, or Fish Santa who helps him throw the party. The B plot is about the girl Fish, the third of the trio. B wants to be Santa at the mall. She wants to be able to play Santa at the mall, but she doesn't get the job. She gets the job of an elf. Until the end, when Santa Fish's hands are ruined, somehow they get ruined. And so it's up to her, B, and Milo to deliver the presents in place of Santa Fish, and so now B can be Santa. And the party pops off without a hitch.
This is the greatest Christmas ever! Yay!
That's episode. It's only 15 minutes, and that's what happened. I hope you understood that. Next up, we have Ant Farm, and Ant Farm has 2 episodes as well. So the first episode is called Santa's Little Helper.
I love Christmas.
Cutting down the tree, taking Dad to the emergency room, hanging up the lights, taking Dad to the emergency room.
China, Fletcher, and Olive, our main trio, is tasked with making presents for the kids at the orphanage by their principal, Mrs. Skidmore. Another, like, we have to help the orphans plotline. Little do they know, Mrs. Skidmore is using them as free child labor, and she's actually selling the presents that they're making online or whatever.
It's our Jack in the Box. Where did your aunt get this?
A website?
Who's selling them?
Skidmore's handcrafted toys.
Oh! She's not giving them to the orphans, so the orphans actually don't have any presents, but Miss Skidmore has some extra money in her pockets, though.
But I must say, I do admire her entrepreneurial spirit.
I was gonna say that. That was actually kind of smart on Skidmore.
We know that you've been selling our Jack in the Boxes for profit. You said you were helping the needy. I am.
I'm needy. So the gang decides to teach Miss Skidmore a lesson by rigging the presents with non-lethal explosives. Let's not be surprised that these prodigies know how to make explosives. But Miss Skidmore, after getting a lecture from China, has a change of heart and she decides to actually give the presents to the orphanage.
To make amends, I have donated the entire last batch of toys to the orphanage. What?
Now the gang has to go sneak into the orphanage to take the presents back before they explode. I personally like the B plot more this go round. So China's dad, he doesn't know what to get his wife for Christmas, so he spends the entire day stalking and spying on his wife at the mall so he can see what she gets him, and that way he'll know what to get her.
It's a sweater for my sister.
Not the dad hiding in plain sight and we're supposed to not see him. If the mom is any type of intelligent, she will notice the dad.
Darren, what are you doing?
Oh, thank you. I'm glad she noticed him. One thing I will say, I hate the dumb girl in the show. She's like too dumb. You know, there's dumb and then there's like brain dead, and she's bordering the line. Oh my gosh. Honestly, she got a white girl for Christmas. That's some people's dream. This was a solid episode. To me, it felt really real. No Santa element, none of that. It's just people Christmas shopping. Like, I feel like those would be the best episodes because it's just so natural and it's so real. The next episode is called Silent Night. There's a power outage in the area and it forces Z-Tech, the school the kids attend, to shut down. Consequently, this causes the emergency backup system to kick in.
I control every system in the building, including lights, temperature, and ambient music.
Although the backup system is a holographic supercomputer, for some reason, it doesn't have the knowledge or the concept of Santa. So when the kids tell the computer that Santa is this big guy who watches you while you sleep and breaks into your house, he takes that as a security threat and he ends up shutting the school down, locking all the kids in, and keeping them from being able to go home for Christmas.
Christmas is about the heinous Arctic ice demon, Santa Claus.
Because the supercomputer thinks that Christmas is about this heinous Arctic demon, the kids decide to put on a Christmas pageant to teach the supercomputer the true meaning of Christmas. When I tell you they started to preach, they were preaching. Each kid kind of gave their reason for celebrating the holidays. For China, it was because of Jesus. For one of the other characters, it was Hanukkah, yada yada yada. One of my favorite parts is when the robot is like, well, how do you know all these things happen? Like, how do you know that a star appeared when Jesus was born? Or how do you know the Hanukkah thing? And China was like, we don't know. We just choose to believe. Choose is an important word.
We don't know. We just choose to believe.
I wasn't there, but I'm choosing to believe. Like, I believe by faith, not by sight. And then the robot responds like, well, that's illogical. Like, that's not how logic works.
Not about logic. It's about faith.
But belief is based on hard facts, empirical evidence.
Faith is believing even when there is no evidence.
This for sure is going in top 10. Jesus is the reason for the season. I watched it again for that scene alone. Like, this is a really solid episode. I give it a... Besides the Christmas pageant scene, it was an okay episode. So I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10. Next up, we have Hey Jessie. Hey Jessie. Jessie, if you don't know, is about a poor Texas teen who becomes the nanny of a rich family of adopted kids from New York. Jessie has like 4 to 5 different holiday episodes, 4 of which or crossovers. Once we kind of get to those era of those TV shows, we'll talk about those Jessie episodes. But until then, let's talk about the first Jessie holiday episode called Christmas Story.
Larger ornaments go on the bottom, smaller on the top, and gold and silver tinsel must never cross.
So there's no real plot, just a bunch of Christmas things happening, and I guess that's probably why it's called Christmas Story. This is Robbie's first Christmas. Robbie's one of the kids. Zuri kind of scares him in regards to the concept of Santa.
A fat man is constantly spying on us? Is it just me, or is that really creepy?
Honestly, Robbie raises a good point. So we have that plotline going on. Jessie, Luke, and Emma get thrown into Santa jail.
I'm a store detective. Oh, so if anything goes missing off the bottom 2 shelves, you're on it.
He kind of ate her up with that one.
This is officially the worst shopping trip ever.
There's a check off the trope list, a second Santa jail scenario. The most concise plot has to do with the parents. The parents are supposed to be on their way for Christmas, but they get held up. The planes are grounded, so they have to take a train.
We're on the train, but the blizzard has shut everything down.
Bro, it's the way that they keep coming up with excuses as to why they're not at home for Christmas. Oh, really? First it was the plane, now it's the train. Something with the train goes wrong, but then they eventually make it. One of the parents is a supermodel, and the other parent is a director or whatever. And it's like, why did y'all adopt all these kids when you know your lifestyle doesn't fit having all these kids? It's kind of giving Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt.
Merry Christmas!
You didn't want kids. You only got them for the freaking look of it. Like, it's all a publicity stunt. Oh, I adopted all these kids. One's black, one's Indian. Like, you're not real parents. And the fact that one of the parents is Ward Cameron.
Mommy and Daddy ran into Santa Claus, and he gave us a ride home in his sleigh.
The parents put on this entire ploy, acting like they got stuck on a plane, acting like they got stuck on the train, just so their kids could be that much more happier, 10 times more happier, seeing them on Christmas, knowing that the rest of the year they abandoned them. These kids don't know you. You adopted all these kids and they don't know you. Jessie's the mother. Terrible episode, by the way. Very terrible. The next Jessie episode is a 2-parter crossover with the show Good Luck Charlie. So let's take it back to Good Luck Charlie.
Oh, no. Charlie, honey, look. If you do it one strand at a time, it's prettier.
Bro, no one told me my favorite white family has 2 Christmas episodes. What the heck? I almost missed it. There's 2 plots happening. We're gonna call it the Denver plot and the New York plot. And it's another I don't know what to get someone for Christmas plot line. And in this case, the someone is Charlie.
I need you to take Charlie to see Santa, and you have got to find out what present she wants most.
Okay.
Why can't we just ask little Charlie? I'm sure she doesn't care. So Amy asks Bob to go take Charlie to see Santa so they can find out what Charlie wants for Christmas. Because apparently she's at that age where, like, she'll only tell Santa what she wants. Like, I've never been there personally, but go off, Charlie.
He's just one of Santa's helpers. The real Santa is up at the North Pole, so you can tell me what you asked for.
It's a secret.
Charlie, Miss Ma'am, you must not want anything for Christmas because, like, if you don't tell me what you want, she keeping it wraps. Like, what you keeping it a secret between you and Santa for? It's gonna be a rude awakening on Christmas morning when you realize that Santa didn't bring you your present.
They won't let you talk to him unless you got a kid.
Gabe!
What?
Let's go. You're talking to Santa.
Hey, let me just shave. I'll be right with you.
I love how he just agreed. He's like, I don't know what this is about, but all right, I'll go. And when that doesn't work, they did concoct an elaborate scheme where Bob is going to dress up as Santa. So Charlie would tell him, Santa, what she wanted, but that doesn't work either.
I'm not 500 years old anymore. Oh! Oh! Oh!
Santa, why are you wearing New Balances?
I'm Santa.
Then why are you wearing Daddy's shoes?
That's what I said, Santa. Why you having New Balances on? That's pretty much the whole plot. They want to know what Charlie wants for Christmas. Gabe knew the entire time. It was just a little dollhouse or whatever. Meanwhile, Teddy and PJ are on their way to New York because Teddy has a college tour at NYU. I love when Disney Channel characters get into the most prestigious schools. On her way to NYU, she gets stuck on the subway and runs into no one other than, you guessed it, Jessie.
Excuse me.
Woo! And we can't forget Zuri.
No, it's bad news.
Woo! While trapped on the subway, patience begins to run a bit thin. Zuri is hungry and harassing people for the lasagna. Jessie is trying to practice her lines for an audition. And Teddy is freaking out because she's about to miss her tour. And it's up to Zuri to remind everyone what Christmas, not you, but it's up to Zuri to help remind everyone what Christmas is all about.
Christmas is not about auditions and college tours. It's about peace on earth, goodwill towards men.
But she's also still hungry.
Hand over that lasagna!
But everyone realizes that despite Zuri's ravenous hunger, she's right. And the only thing left to do is sing.
We wish you a Merry Christmas.
We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Yay, lasagna. Later, Teddy meets up with her brother PJ, who was at the hot dog stand the entire episode. They get bad news that the airports are closed, meaning that they can't get back home, meaning that obviously they're gonna go stay with who? Jessie. Good luck, Jessie. NYC Christmas.
What do you think is in here?
I don't know, but whatever it is, I'm guessing it's about to throw up.
Okay, so continuing from the Good Luck Charlie episode, Teddy and PJ are now staying at the, what do they call it? What's their last names? Evans? Zuri, Ravi, Luke, Emma, Ross. The Ross, there we go. Now Teddy and PJ are staying at the Ross residence. So the main plot of this episode is the Christmas treasure hunt. Everyone in the apartment wakes up on Christmas Day with no memory of the events that happened last night.
What in the silver bells happened here?
The apartment is a mess, and there are no presents underneath the tree.
Actually, I don't remember anything that happened last night after Teddy and PJ got here.
Yeah. How can you not remember what happened last night? Did y'all get drunk? Did you get drunk while you were babysitting kids? Like, what's the other explanation for not remembering anything?
I mixed a compound which exploded into a toxic vapor that put us to sleep and caused a retroactive memory blackout.
So the characters split up into two groups to figure out what the heck happened last night. And they go on a hunt to find the Christmas presents.
Welcome to your Christmas treasure hunt. What a whimsical holiday treat.
Oh, this is pretty fun. I admit this is pretty fun. To give the kids like a little treasure hunt. There's gonna be a Christmas tradition in my household. Like, you don't have to work for these presents. Yeah, go ahead and look at this map and go find them presents. Towards the end of the episode, Jessie ends up performing at the toy park drive.
Gotta have a little mistletoe, mix it with a little jingle bells.
You know, Debbie, I'm sure you're a phenomenal singer, but it's such a waste not having Bridget Mendler singing up here. Bridget Mendler actually had a Disney singing career. I've never heard a song from Debbie Ryan. Like, I'm sorry. I've never heard a song from Debbie Ryan. Like, why would we bring Bridget Mendler on and not have her sing a duet? Like, that don't make no sense. Of course, they have the classic trope of let's give all our presents to the orphans and the less fortunate kids. I feel like this episode didn't need to be a crossover episode. Jessie's part in Good Luck Charlie was better than Good Luck Charlie's part in Jessie. Other than that, it was very fun. I give this episode a 8.1. Next up, we have So Random, which is not to be confused with Sunny with a Chance. So Random is a spin-off of the show Sunny with a Chance, and I fully went into this episode expecting to hate it. I expected to not laugh. I expected to not enjoy my time, but I did. I thoroughly enjoyed my time. I was dying laughing the entire episode, and honestly, it was one skit in particular that did it for me. So let's get into it. So like I said, this episode is comprised of a bunch of holiday comedy sketches. They have some really good ones. I enjoyed the beaver skit. So pretty much the beaver skit is about this girl who has beaver teeth. So stupid. So she has obnoxiously huge beaver teeth and she wants to get them removed at the dentist. She has this dream sequence that convinces her that her beaver teeth are actually special and that her life will be way better with beaver teeth than without beaver teeth.
Why did I ever wish I wasn't raised by beavers? Raised by beavers.
It got a chuckle out of me, okay? It sounds ridiculous, and it is as ridiculous as it sounds, but it got a little chuckle. The one that made me laugh the most, I'm telling you, is the Voldemort skit.
Greetings. Thank you for choosing Voldemort. How may I fill your holiday with joy?
So Voldemort is the manager of, or is he the boss? Or is he the CEO of a supermarket called Voldemort? And he's trying to sell his Malibu Voldy dolls.
It's a Malibu Voldy doll. Half the price of a toilet box, but twice the fun.
It's if Voldemort decided to tap out mid-fight with Harry and decide, you know, Harry, you got it. I'm chilling. I'm just gonna go get a job at the supermarket. And you really gotta think about it, like, if Voldemort was a normal person, and once you get into that mindset, bro, it's hilarious, okay? There's a scene with the shopper, and the shopper doesn't want to buy his Voldemort doll, and so he tries to Avada Kedavra the shopper.
This isn't good enough for you.
Yeah, that is something Voldemort would do, bro. You gotta buy his freaking doll like Avada Kedavra. That skit is so funny. There's so many different references. Harry Potter even shows up.
Harry Potter, I'll destroy you! No big bad Dumbledore to save you now, Potter.
The person who plays Voldemort, like, spot on. Like, the acting is so spot on. Like, I'm convinced that this is an alternate universe where Voldemort is literally the manager of a supermarket. And in the episode, I forgot to say the episode title. The title of this episode is called Musical Guest Justin Bieber, and at the end of the episode, there's a performance by Justin Bieber. He sings, "It was beautiful time of the year."
Lions fill the streets, spreading so much cheer. I should be playing in the winter snow, but I'ma be under the mistletoe.
He sings mistletoe, and yeah. That's it. Next up, we have Austin and Ally. Austin and Ally is about a girl and a boy who makes music together in Florida. Technically, this is a New Year's episode, but it has a lot of like Christmas decor and vibe to it, so we're gonna include it. And this is also a crossover episode with Jessie. Austin, Jessie, and Ally, all-star New Year. So the episode opens up with the most Disney-esque dancing I've ever seen by our star, Austin Moon.
Yeah.
It's literally so Disney Channel, the dancing, that I had to put it out. It's like you only see this dancing on Disney. Austin's biggest dream is to perform at Times Square on New Year's.
What a year! Jimmy Star signed me to Star Records and I released my first album.
And you still might get to live out your biggest dream, playing Times Square for New Year's Eve.
And as his manager, Trish makes that happen.
Trish, right? We spoke earlier when you booked Austin to play here on New Year's Eve. Hello?
So during this episode, Trish keeps fumbling everything she has planned for Austin because instead of being a normal person and like typing in stuff in the planner, she uses Siri or Sherry to make the plans for her. And you know how AI is, they get things wrong all the time.
Cherry messed up. I didn't book Austin at Times Square. I booked him at Tims Square Pizza.
And when she fixed that, she accidentally sets the wrong flight times for them.
Cherry, is our 1 o'clock flight on time?
Your 1 o'clock flight left at 1 o'clock this morning.
This morning?
But in the end, Austin makes it to NYU or NYC. In the end, Austin makes it to New York City. And that's where the Jessie plot intertwines.
That's your Austin Moon scream.
They just added him to tonight's New Year's Eve show in Times Square.
So Jessie takes Emma to go see Austin perform, and they all end up running into each other in line because the police officer doesn't want to let anyone else through. And of course, if you got a little bit of money.
Oh, Austin, when you know rich people, there's always another way.
So in the end, Austin makes it in time for his performance. It's a pretty solid performance. Let's move into the Jessie episode. With the performance over, Austin and Ally and the gang need a place to stay. So of course, the rich people house is the best option. Now I know the music industry can be a little tough. I'm trying to understand that if Austin Moon is this super famous pop star who just got signed to a record label, why doesn't he have money for a hotel or a cab even? Are you performing shows for free? Like, what's going on? Anyways, we're gonna do a speed run through this episode because it's not really Christmassy anymore. Since Austin and Ally are staying for free, Jessie uses this as her opportunity to network, and so she wants them to look at some of the songs she wrote. All the songs end up being terrible except for the one that Zuri wrote, and so Trish agrees to let Jessie perform a duet with Austin using Zuri's song in Miami.
It's worrying. Your song about the imaginary friends is really great.
Her what?
Jessie feels guilty about the fact that it's Zuri's song, and so she lets everyone know that, hey, this is Zuri's song that she wrote, and then they perform, and it's a pretty great performance / music video.
Now I can't believe my eyes, yeah, you're not pretend. I thought you might be my imaginary friend.
The first part I'll give a 7 out of 10. The second part I'll give like a 6 out of 10. And that's Austin, Jessie, and Ally NYC Christmas. The next Austin and Ally episode is called Mix Up and Mistletoes.
Guess what I have? Mistletoe?
Don't make us kiss. It's embarrassing.
In this episode, we have another let's give toys to the unfortunate or less fortunate kids plotline. So all the kids at the kids club want the new Austin Moon doll, which I don't know why, because the doll is atrociously hideous.
The Austin Moon doll!
This is cool.
Why is his head so big?
Yeah, these dolls are at the top of every kid's wish list.
It's horrifying. No one wants that bobblehead Austin doll. I like to think that Austin Moon in their world is the equivalent to JoJo Siwa in our world. And once I do that, I get it. Like, I get why all the kids are like into it. Anyways, the toy company that's supposed to make the Austin Moon dolls fumble tremendously.
This isn't right.
They all have long float.
Hey, okay, bust down. We love a blonde bust down.
Long flowing gorgeous princess hair.
Right, like it ended up being an Austin Moon doll that had really long hair, which is kind of a slay, but it's a simple fix, right?
It's not gonna get here till after the holidays.
What are we gonna do?
Just cut and style the hair. And now that we solved the long hair problem, there's another problem.
The Austin doll just peed on me. Why did it do that? The toy company also makes mommy change me dolls.
Well, for a real surprise, press the button.
That is so wildly inappropriate.
This isn't a real Austin doll. You ruined Christmas.
Okay, kid. Beggars can't be freaking choosers. It's a free present. Well, Christmas is ruined. Except it's not, because who other than Santa could come in on Christmas Day with a new shipment of perfect condition Austin Moon dolls for the orphan kids. One thing I like to mention is that during the episode, Austin and Allie tried kissing underneath the mistletoe. And I'm just like, when did those two get together? When did that happen?
We're under the mistletoe again.
Wait, do these two like each other? Did they end up dating? Wait, do they date? I'm so confused. Because I was like, I'm kind of shipping those two. But they may be dating already. Oh, we can't forget about the Christmas number that Austin and Allie performs. Okay, so I've seen a lot of Christmas performances doing this holiday recap thing. This is not my favorite. Can I be honest? It's not my favorite. This song is okay.
Jingle bells are ringing, everybody singing.
I love Christmas. All in all, this is a solid episode. I give it a 7.7 out of 10. The last Austin and Allie episode is called Santa and Surprises. Austin and Allie try to bring the Christmas cheer to a little girl named Lily who hates Christmas and thinks that it's lousy.
I just think Christmas is overrated. People make too big of a deal out of it, and it's really not that great. It's lousy.
So when they take the kid to go see Santa, the kid ends up telling him that the only thing that she wants for Christmas is for her dad to come home, but she knows that it'll never happen because he's volunteering in Ecuador. This leads to Des promising the little girl that Santa will definitely get her dad home for Christmas.
So, what you need to understand is, Santa will definitely get your dad home for Christmas.
Really?
So to make Lily's wish come true, Austin and Allie agree to go perform in Ecuador for the people who are working out there in exchange for her dad. Only when they get to Ecuador, the dad isn't there.
Probably should have said this earlier. Lily's dad isn't here.
What?
Lily's father had to leave on a special medical mission. Unbeknownst to them, the special medical mission was settled by Des, a red-haired idiot. The special medical mission was to heal a little girl's broken heart.
I did tell you. I said Santa and I were gonna bring home Lily's dad. I just had to make a couple calls, charge a plane ticket to your credit card, and voila! Here he is.
In the end, this ends up being the little girl's best Christmas ever. Applause, applause. Not too shabby. I give the episode a 7 out of 10. Next show we're gonna talk about is Dog with the Blog. For the life of me, I'll never understand how this show got greenlit. Like, I'll never understand. And unfortunately for me, there's 3 episodes to talk about. Bro, what a freaking lame show. Y'all don't even have lyrics for your theme song. The first episode is called Bark, the Herald Angel Sings.
It's Christmas time. For the first time in my whole life, I get to spend Christmas as part of a family.
This is everyone's first Christmas together as a blended family, including Stan the dog. So we have another let's find and open our presents before Christmas trope going on here. But in this case, I actually support it. Avery's mother is horrible at picking Christmas presents for her. One year, she got her a clown picture. terrifying. Another year, she got her grandmother's dentures, bro. Like,
Grandma's teeth. Does Mommy like you?
the teeth is a little bit more scary than a clown pick. So to soften the blow to her siblings, they decide to let's go find the presents and open them, and that way we won't be so surprised and end up hurting the mom's feelings when the presents are trash.
If Mom sees how much we hate the gifts, she will have a very sad Christmas.
Judging by...
What about our Christmas? What about our emotions? But in an interesting turn of events, the presents aren't trash. They're actually pretty solid presents. Everyone's except for Avery.
Mom bought good gifts? Maybe being in this new family has changed her.
I think her gift is terrible. I think her gift is going to be terrible.
A Christmas poncho?
So Ellen, the mother, ends up overhearing Avery talk about how much she hates her mom's presents and yada yada yada, and then she ends up getting butthurt about it and is like, girl, pick better presents.
All of my life I've been pretending to like her horrible gifts. I thought she was a terrible gift giver, but it's just with me.
I mean, like, I get it. Like, I'm sorry, it was harsh, but also, why does everyone else have a good gift and I have a Christmas poncho? Like, because that's what little girl wants, a clown picture in her grandmother's teeth. That don't make no sense. Be butthurt and pick better presents. Ellen thought that her and her daughter had the same taste, and so she would get her presents that she thought were good and that they both would like, instead of getting her presents that Avery liked. So in the end, in the most unnecessary, dramatic gift exchange you'll probably ever see, this is literally the most dramatic scene in the history of dramatic scenes, bro. The mom ends up getting Avery a gift card. That way she's in charge of her own presents this year.
Gift card! I love it!
And that's what we call compromise, people. Solid gift. Like, I take a gift card. It wasn't a bad episode. 7 out of 10. The next episode is called 'Twas the Night Before Christmas. So the main plot here is that Ellen, the mom, isn't too excited that her perfect, put-together sister is coming over for the holidays.
Picks on everything that's wrong with me until I cry. It's like a sport to her, and making me cry is how she wins.
Avery decides that she's going to put together a perfect, uncriticizable Christmas, so that way the aunt doesn't have anything to complain about and her mom won't end up crying this year. The whole goal of the episode is to keep the aunt happy so that Ellen doesn't cry. Like, that's the main goal we're trying to accomplish this episode.
Then we won't give her anything to criticize. She'll see us having a perfect Christmas. All we have to do is make sure that there are no surprises.
But of course, with 3 kids and 2 dogs running around, there were plenty of surprises and nothing was perfect. But seeing the craziness of Ellen's family moved Aunt Sigourney to tears, and she realized that within her perfect life, the one thing she was missing was all of this: family.
I try so hard to make my life special. Maybe the reason that I have to be so special is because I don't have a family like this.
Episode 1 was way better than this. I give this episode 6 out of 10. Let's move on to the next one. Stand Still's Christmas.
Was Christmas at last, the best time of year. So here is a story of good family cheer.
So in this episode, the family is only concerned about opening... I found I sound so dull. The family is only concerned about their Christmas presents. So Stan, the dog, decides, I'm going to steal the Christmas presents. How he made that happen, I don't know. With hopes of teaching the kids the true meaning of Christmas. That's it. We don't need to go into detail. In the end, when they locate the presents, they end up giving it to less fortunate kids. We have that trope again.
I think we know what we should do. Merry Christmas!
Oh, and also the presents that the family gave away to the less fortunate kids reappeared the next morning for them opening at Christmas time. So we can assume that Santa has something to do with it.
That night, Santa came on his sleigh and left the same gifts the kids just gave away.
Trope, check. Next up, we have Liv and Maddie. Better in stereo. Liv and Maddie is about twin sisters who come to live with each other after living separate, antithetical lives. The first episode is called Fa La La Rooney.
I built a base that turns the tree so you can decorate it easier.
Bro, I literally seen that on TikTok. This girl had a spinning, a rotating tree thingy. Okay, so we have a few different plots going on, and as always, let's start with the main one. So Liv is headlining Channel 4's Holiday Spectacular, and she's going to be sharing the stage with a cute little girl who has looked up to Liv all her life, and all she wants to do is be like Liv when she grows up.
Hi, I'm I'm Jenny Key.
Hi, you are the adorable little girl that I get to share the stage with this Christmas Eve.
I bet she's not so adorable. I bet she's probably a little tyke, a little monster. Yep, you guessed it. The little girl is actually a demon spawn. And what she really wants is to take the spotlight from Liv.
Oh, ho, 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 who wouldn't go?
Are we sure she's not a monster? Because I was hoping that she was a monster.
Because you sound like a dying walrus.
Boom, bam, what? But no one believes Liv when she tries to tell them that the little girl is actually a monster. And so, yeah, that's fun. The other plot we have is with the two brothers, Joey and Parker. Joey ruins his little brother's chances of getting the Christmas present he wanted. And he makes it his personal Christmas mission to get revenge on his brother. It's so sibling, bro. The last plot is with Maddie and her dad. It has something to do with trying to win a tree decorating ceremony or something irrelevant. At the end, during the holiday spectacular, the girl ends up blowing her cover after Liv sets her up and everyone sees how much of a Grinch and Scrooge that she is.
Get off my stage, Blondie.
We gotta put this kid in her place, right? We have to. It's our Christmas spirit duty to make sure this kid is put in her place.
She ruined my big moment. I hate this town and everyone in it.
She's a Grinch. Get her out of here. And with the brother plot line,
I also paid kids to pee on you, spit in your face, pour itching powder down your suit, and throw your glasses into the bushes.
This is a little bratty, evil kid. That's a bit much. After countless pranks on his brother, Joey tells Parker that the reason why he stopped his mom from getting him the helicopter was because he already got him the helicopter for Christmas, and so he didn't want to double gift him.
The only reason I did this Santa stand was so I could pay off your Christmas present.
Yeah, feel guilty about it, you little jerk. Bro, give me back that helicopter. This is another solid episode. I give it a 7.3 out of 10. Okay, so now that we know who Joey and Parker is, so we know which show they're from, we're gonna take a U-turn back to the show Jessie for the last crossover episode, and it's called Aloha Holidays with Joey and Parker.
Well, I talked to your parents and convinced them that we should all spend Christmas in Hawaii together.
The main plot follows Jessie and the kids as they celebrate Christmas at their villa in Hawaii. At the villa, they run into one of Jessie's celebrity friends. I think her name was Shaylee or something. I really should do more research. She's played by Maya Mitchell, and she happens to be staying at the same villa, unbeknownst to Jessie, but beknownst to Bertram, because Bertram is the one who rented out the villa for her.
I'm not quite sure what's going on here.
Well, Bertram wasn't expecting us, so obviously he rented the villa out to make a little extra cash.
At the villa, they also run into Joey and Parker, who are on vacation in Hawaii as well. From there, several different plots going on. Everyone has their own little plot going on. Parker, Bertram, and Zuri are scamming tourists.
Hey, I just had a great idea. Let's throw some sand in a jar, slap a price tag on it, and see if these suckers bite.
Joey wants to get with Emma, and so he asks Luke for advice, but Luke ends up giving him terrible advice in hopes of ruining his chances with Emma, but that backfires and Joey and Emma end up dating, kind of? I don't know. They raise a pig together.
So, what are we gonna name him?
How about Hamlet?
I love it.
Robbie is preparing for some show where he tells everyone the history of Hawaii or something like that.
I am going to be the narrator for the Christmas Eve luau, so I'm practicing narrating.
Jessie has her acting gig, but she ends up getting fired because the director would prefer to have someone famous on the show, i.e. her celebrity friend Shaylee.
You're firing me, but keeping Shaylee?
Of course, she's a star. What is this, your first job in TV?
So everything bowls over when the island gets angry and one of the volcanoes are getting ready to erupt. So it's up to the kids to save the island by giving back to the island everything they took. This was a good episode, but it wasn't really festive. I'm gonna give it a 5.9 out of 10. All right, back to Liv and Maddie. The next Liv and Maddie episode is called Joy Aruni.
Mommy, open my present. No. I want to go next. I want to see what my little bro gave me. Mama, please.
So Liv invites her film crew over for her mother's famous Christmas Eve dinner, a tradition they had since she was a kid. Only to find out that there won't be a dinner because the mother doesn't actually cook. She just orders catering and Liv accidentally cancels the catering.
Mama's famous Christmas Eve dinner isn't real.
So to keep the guests who are coming over from going hungry, Liv enlists the help of Artie, who cooks Christmas Eve dinner for the family in exchange for a holiday card for Liv.
Oh, you did it, Artie! Dinner looks amazing.
I'll see you tomorrow for our holiday card photo shoot.
There's 2 side plots going on in the episode as well. There's one with Joy and Parker. Joy accidentally gives Parker a handmade Parker coupon book, which he uses to make Parker his personal plaything.
Your coupon is honored. 1, this is how much I love you bulletin board.
Which, quite frankly, he deserved, because after the events that happened last Christmas, like, yeah, you're my plaything this year. This is a good back from last Christmas. The other side plot is with Maddie. She accidentally gives a kid cold for Christmas and makes the kid cry. I actually like this episode. I give it a 7 out of 10. I feel like I'm giving everything a 7 out of 10. Like, I feel like a 7 out of 10 is the, like, it wasn't excellent, but it was good. So the last Liv and Maddie episode is called Cali Christmas a Rooney. The main plot here is that Maddie is feeling homesick because this is the family's first Christmas in California. They're originally from Wisconsin. So Liv comes up with the best Christmas present to give Maddie.
I'm gonna give her a Wisconsin Christmas!
Oh.
Honestly, that's about it. She decides to bring Wisconsin to California. She brings her boyfriend over. Her boyfriend brings some food from a local diner that I guess you can only get in Wisconsin. And they decorate the house really festive, and that's about it. They do have some secondary plots. Parker teaches his cousin what a snow day's like. She's never experienced one in California. And Joy enters a Santa competition. I'll give this episode a 6 out of 10. A Californian Christmas just doesn't do it for me. Next show we're gonna talk about is Girl Meets World. Boy, do I have some things to say. Girl Meets World is a spin-off or a continuation series following the daughter of the main characters from Boy Meets World. This episode is called Girl Meets Home for the Holidays.
Honey, this is our first year hosting the holidays. Is your mom gonna go easy on me?
You want comfort or truth?
Comfort.
It's gonna be hideous.
So the main plot here is that Uncle Sean, a character from Boy Meets World, is visiting for the holidays, and everyone is happy about that, especially Corey.
Sean's coming!
Who is Sean? Riley isn't so psyched about Uncle Sean's visit because she believes that Uncle Sean doesn't like her very much.
So what's the deal on the mysterious Uncle Sean?
I don't see him a lot. I don't think he likes me.
Which is odd because I'm like, why does a grown man have beef with a 13-year-old? But I honestly get what Riley means, because when Uncle Sean does pop up, oh, Uncle Sean, I guess. He kind of gives her a dry little, hey, Riley, and then like he tries to dip and he doesn't say much else.
Hi, Uncle Sean.
Yeah. Hey, kids.
You mean to tell me you really have beef with a 16-year-old child? But later, when Riley and Uncle Sean actually have a sit down and they talk, we find out that Uncle Sean doesn't hate Riley. He actually really loves Riley. But seeing her reminds him of all the things that he doesn't have. A family and kids.
Is it okay if I say something scary? Every time you see me, does it remind you of what you don't have?
Okay, so this show is very kind of preachy and deep. It's not fun. This episode wasn't very Christmas heavy, so I give it a 7 out of 10. I give everything a 7 out of 10. We'll give it a 7.1 out of 10. The next episode is called Girl Meets a Christmas Maya. And I want to be able to give y'all a recap. I literally just, I just couldn't. I watched the episode, but it was so bloody hard to get through. I understood exactly why this show got canceled. I don't even have a script for it. This is the only thing I wrote down. Cheesy, preachy, always a life lesson or a therapy session. Like, where's the fun? And Riley is so annoying. It's like every scene is a life lesson skit. Like, they want to teach somebody a lesson so bad. Riley and Maya's relationship and communication is so unnatural to me. Like, that's literally all I have for the episode. Why is it every 5 minutes we either just learn some lesson or we just left a therapy session? I'm trying to understand. I get you want to teach someone a lesson, but what happened to the natural progression of a plot? It's just too cheesy. I'm sorry. I don't even want to talk about it. Next up, we have, Bunked. Bunked is an honorable mention. I tried to watch it, y'all. I could not do it. Honestly, we had enough of the Jessie kids. Next show we have is Casey Undercover. And it's about a girl balancing civilian life and secret agent spy life. I've never seen Casey Undercover before, and so that's the best description I can give it. The first episode is called 'Twas the Fight Before Christmas.
Christmas trees are a tradition, like caroling and hanging stockings.
And don't forget giving gifts. When it comes to gift giving, people might say I have a gift.
So Casey has crowned herself the queen of gift giving, and she believes that she has given her dad the perfect Christmas present, which is a visit from his father.
When Dad's dad, Papa Earl, arrives at the airport. That's right.
We don't like Papa Earl, do we? And Casey's dad has the worst, most immature response to this gift ever.
Wait, why aren't you jumping up and down and thanking me?
Thanks a lot, Casey.
Sorry. Well, maybe you should have told your daughter that you had a terrible relationship with your father. Maybe she wouldn't have thought it'd be a good gift to reunite you guys.
On the third day of Christmas.
My daughter gave to me the worst gift I ever received.
Oh my gosh. I feel like the dad needs to grow up. Sir, chill out. She thought she was doing something nice. So obviously this father and son doesn't get along.
Who wouldn't be proud of... Oh, right. Someone who's not allowed to know that you're a super cool, high-ranking secret agent.
Okay, so what's his cover? Like, what does his dad think that he do? What does his dad think that he does? Papa Earl doesn't like that Craig decided to quit medical school to become an accountant. And I'm just like, I ain't never seen someone mad because their kid is an accountant before. Like,
I didn't say one word about you quitting your dream to go into med school to become an accountant. But since you brought it up, am I wrong for wishing my son was saving lives instead of saving pennies?
Dad, I'm begging you, please stop talking.
An accountant is a good career. Like, why are you tripping off of that? Accountants make pretty good salary. Like, what are you talking about? Like, I get it may not be a doctor's salary, but like, I understand why you don't want to be a doctor. I seen the first episode of Grey's Anatomy. Papa Earl is constantly poking jabs at Craig, constantly making him feel like a failure. It's a very toxic relationship between him and his dad. So in the end, the mom gets kidnapped, and so the whole family goes to rescue her, and Papa Earl ends up seeing what his son's real career is, and he's accepting of it then.
Son, I don't know what to say. What with the kicking and the shooting and the high and the yarn?
Him being a secret government agent is more impressive than being an accountant. Why couldn't you just be accepting of whatever job he did?
No, I just feel awful the way I've been treating you. Well, what I'm really trying to say is I'm really proud of you, son.
Okay, so me being an accountant wasn't good enough, but the fact that I'm just secret spy is. But of course, Papa Earl can't know that he's a spy, so they end up taking his memory away, and Papa Earl is back to being a disappointed dad. I like the episode fine. I give it a 6 out of 10. So the next episode is called Holly Not Jolly. Holly Not So Jolly. While the family is decorating for Christmas, Casey sneaks away for a therapy session. So during the session, she recounts all the missions she's had in the past, which is actually really great for me because as someone who's never watched the show, I got to kind of see what the show's about and all the things that happen in the show. So this was pretty good to watch for me, honestly. A lot of her missions were giving That's So Raven, the way she was always dressed up as a different character. If you ever seen That's So Raven, you know what I mean. Coincidentally, as soon as I thought that, no other than Raven Simone pops up dressed as some old man, and one thing we're gonna do is put on the disguise.
You need paper towels. You need paper towels. You always need paper towels. Everybody need paper towels. Paper towels, paper towels, paper towels. When I was in my generation, back when I was fly, we used to have paper and we used to have towels. We used to have paper to write with and towels to wipe with, but now you want all the paper towels together, don't you? Paper, paper towels, paper. Take your paper towels and get back in that room. Nobody wants to use you or your paper towels.
This scene right here was a highlight of the episode. Overall, I feel like this was a good recap episode for someone who's never seen the show, but as far as Christmas cheer and holiday spirit, no. It's 4 out of 10. Next show we're going to talk about is Stuck in the Middle. This show greatly surprised me.
Christmas is a magical time of year in the Diaz house, full of holiday traditions. The fight over who gets to hang the star on the tree, the fight over who gets the biggest stocking, the fight over... I'm realizing it's a lot of fighting.
The Diaz family has made it their mission to visit their grandmother in Florida for Christmas because every year they make some excuse as to why they can't visit her.
Here it comes. The ask.
Hot yoga starting, mijita. Gotta run.
Oh, Abuela didn't ask.
Abuela's giving up on us.
Abuela's tired of y'all. Abuela's tired of y'all, and Abuela's done. Abuela's probably got a man. She doesn't need y'all to come for Christmas. She got her own man. But this year, Abuela doesn't ask the family to come over for Christmas. And so the family decides to go visit her in Florida to keep Abuela from losing faith in them. As the family try to make it to Florida in time for Christmas, they're faced with a lot of unfortunate obstacles that make their journey seem almost impossible. To be honest, like I would have gave up. Like we going back home. I'll see you next year. First, their plane is canceled.
We're very sorry to inform you, but due to storms in our flight path, our plane is being diverted to Columbus, Ohio.
Ohio? That's nowhere near Abuela.
Okay, I see what's happening here. They're going to have to take a road trip all the way to Florida. Then the little girl loses her doll, which ends up prolonging the trip even further.
Daphne's missing?
I know you had her at the airport. I saw the other passengers recoiling as you walked off the plane.
So I'm assuming Destiny is a big part of the family. If this little girl doesn't have Destiny, like, the world's gonna end.
You've got 2 seconds. Drag it all up in there. What if Joyanne gets a different doll? I've got a whole bunch for her toy drive.
I'm not bargaining for my doll that I own.
You're a good big sister. But what about your toy drive?
I'll have to get more toys.
We gave up your entire toy drive for one doll? That's a freaking ripoff. I'm sorry, no, that little girl's selfish. No, you get one toy in exchange for the doll, and even that's asking for too much because it's my doll that you stole. And if that wasn't terrible, the RV breaks down, which leads us into our second episode called... Wait, I didn't read the first episode. The first episode was called Stuck at Christmas Road Trip. The second episode is called Stuck at Christmas Race. Harley Diaz tries to convince a mechanic to fix the RV so they can get to Florida in time, but the family has no money because the dad accidentally dropped his wallet and everything into the fire last episode. So the family makes a deal with the mechanic that they will help him win the Iron Elf in this holiday competition or whatever in exchange for free service. My favorite part of this episode was when Jenna Ortega's character and the mechanic were bonding over their shared trauma or shared troubles of being the middle child, and Jenna Ortega literally predicts her future as Wednesday.
But okay, to 7. Sometimes I feel like the Wednesday of the family, you know, the day no one really notices.
The what? The frick? Not her calling herself Wednesday when she actually plays Wednesday in the future. Anyway, the guy fixes the RV and the family makes it to Florida in time for Christmas. Yay, we made it to Abuela. I'm still holding out the Abuela as a man. Oh, there's no Christmas tree.
I'm so happy you made it.
Where's the Christmas spirit, Abuela?
You came all this way. You think I'm gonna celebrate in a tiny condo?
Oh.
There's a reason I got
Abuela's doing it big. Okay, I get it, but also Abuela, you could have decorated inside also. When we go inside, where's the Christmas cheer? I love this family. I literally only watched 2 episodes and I am coining them, I am deeming them my favorite Hispanic family. If Good Luck Charlie, if the Duncans are my favorite white family, then the freaking Diaz's are my favorite Hispanic family. Yeah, this gets a 9 out of 10 and it gets my holiday stamp of approval. Next show we have is Bizarre Bark. Bizarre Bark. Y'all, by the time I got to Bizarre Bark on the list, I was pooped. Bizarre Bark gets another honorable mention. I saw the intro and I saw the opening and I saw that it was giving iCarly and I had to exit out. Moving on, and we're almost at the end, guys. The last show we're gonna be talking about, bringing it full circle, is Raven's Home. Is Raven's Home. Is Raven's Home. So remember that high school girl who had psychic powers? Yeah, now she's a mom. Raven's Home has 4 holiday episodes, and the first one is called Bah Humbugged.
That is Christmas time, and I'm feeling fine. Can't wait to get these gifts of mine.
Okay, so this is another multiple plotline episodes. Like, there's 4, and we're gonna call them A, B, C, and D plots. So as always, let's start with the main one, plot A. So Booker has the holiday crave. It just means that he's extremely into the holidays, especially Christmas, so he gets really crazy around it. And so he has a vision where he sees his father down on one knee in front of his mother, and she says, "Yes, I love you." So you know what that means.
Yes, Devon, I love you.
Oh my gosh, nar. They're not getting back together. We're not doing that plot line.
Mom and Dad are getting back together. What?
Booker spends the entire episode trying to recreate moments from the time his parents were together in hopes that they actually get back together, or I guess in hopes of making the vision come to life. But when the vision actually comes to life, of course, it's not what he thought it was.
It's my family's ornament. I mean, if this would have broke, I would have been brokenhearted.
And he ends up having a conversation with his parents that sounded a little familiar.
I'm sorry you're disappointed. But just because your dad and I aren't together doesn't mean that we're not still a family.
Why is that the same line from the Sweet Life of Zack and Cody episode? This party episode is literally the plot from Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, but we're not going to talk about it. In the B plot, Chelsea and Devon are in competition with each other to see who can give Raven the best Christmas present. So essentially, it's a who knows Raven better competition, the ex or the best friend. Ex-husband, by the way. Devon and Raven got married. In plot C, Chelsea forces Raven and Garrett, her ex, to spend time with each other via baking cookies. Now, I don't know the history here. Like I said, I ain't never seen the show. But what I gathered is that Chelsea ended up marrying or dating a con man. She had a son with him as well. And so back in the day, Raven would try to be like, girl, he's not good, he's this and the third. But Chelsea didn't want to listen. So that's the tea I gathered, that he's some type of a criminal. He just got locked, he just got out. That's the tea there. And he's British for some reason.
Ah, ha-ha! Much news in the kingdom. Hear ye, hear ye! The new jester stinks! Everybody hates his jokes!
Now, if that's not a red flag, I don't know what it is, because British people, they not easy to find. Like, I ain't never met a British person before. You mean to tell me you met a British person and you live in Chicago? So Garrett has been locked up and Raven has been helping Chelsea, raise her son. Like, they've been raising the kids together, whatever. So that's pretty much plot C. Garrett and Raven end up kind of bonding. Garrett thanks Raven for taking care of his son while he was gone. And after seeing how helpful Garrett was trying to be while they were baking cookies, Raven kind of softens up towards him, and she begins to tolerate him. She don't like him still, but she tolerates him. In the last plot line, Chelsea's son and the next door neighbor, I guess, decide to partake in the old let's open our presents before Christmas trope, and they end up breaking one of the presents, which is like a game system or whatever. In the end, we find out that it wasn't them who broke it. Originally, the dads were the one who opened the presents and they broke it. They just rewrapped it. And so
we ordered a new one, but it's not going to be until later this week. So the broken one's just a placeholder.
This isn't broken. Where'd that one come from?
oh my gosh, why? I really hate the Santa swooping in to save the day trope. I just hate it. Like, I get why they did it in this one, because in the Death So Raven episode, Santa saves the day also, but it's like, why we can't retire it? The next episode is called Mad About the Yuletide.
It's here.
If you remember, Booker has this whole holiday crave thing where he gets really crazy about the holidays.
The Labor Day liftoff.
Well, this year, Booker isn't too crazy about Christmas.
It's just not gonna happen this year. Christmas cray has taken its final bow.
Due to COVID, the holidays haven't been the same all year round, so his sister and her friends decide it's up to them to restore Booker's holiday cray. And so they spend the episode trying to get him into the Christmas spirit. So in the second part, the dads plan a surprise Christmas trip to the cabins, but due to a snowstorm, everyone gets separated for Christmas. Raven and Chelsea at work, the kids are at home, and the dads are at the cabin. However, Booker, with his Christmas cray restored, tries to keep everyone's spirits lifted and restore everyone's faith that we will all be back together for Christmas, to celebrate Christmas together.
They're gonna be home for Christmas. We just gotta keep believing.
We've been trying, Booker. But come on, we're not gonna get out there, and nobody's gonna get to us.
So pretty much the role is reversed. The first part, Booker needed the encouragement, and this part, Booker's giving the encouragement. So in the end, the dads, Raven and Chelsea, all make it back home, and they all celebrate Christmas together as a family. This episode is literally my top 10 for sure. Like, I didn't think that a recent show, like such a recent show, could make it into my top 10, but like, this show makes it into my top 10. And the last episode of our holiday recap is Raven's Home, A Country Cousin Christmas.
Surprise! Come and get your granddaddy.
So Raven's cousins come in time for Christmas, and there's a bunch of shenanigans that take place. Raven and her cousin Betty Jane fight over, shut up! So Raven and her cousin Betty Jane fight over Christmas decorations and tradition. They both want to decorate the house the way they want to decorate it. The cousin want to decorate it with possums and whatnot. It's like, girl, this is not the country. We is not in the swamps. There will be no possums hung up nowhere. Uncle Delroy was the funniest part of the episode. Uncle Delroy was just Raven dressed up as a man, like she usually does. Pretty much Uncle Delroy was bickering with Mr. Baxter over ham. Apparently, he thinks that Mr. Baxter stole his ham, so they were fighting the whole episode.
Santa's a thief. Merry Christmas. Santa's a thief. That's my glaze.
And it's not a Disney episode without its classic cheesy tropes, and this episode is no different. Booker opens his present up early. I opened my present before Christmas trope. Check. And he sees that he's got some new shoes that he wanted. The shoes accidentally get wrapped and taken to the Trill Grill where they're supposed to be giving out presents to kids. A little boy ends up getting his shoes, and Booker decides to let him keep it.
Merry Christmas.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Everyone should know what it feels like to rock a fresh pair of kicks.
You can't fit these shoes. There's no way a 9-year-old who's probably not even 4'11" yet can fit the shoes of a 6-year-old who's at least 5'9". Giving your present to a kid less fortunate, presumably. Check Indian on Christmas Day. After all the lessons are learned and all the shenanigans have died down, the family have learned to tolerate each other. There's only one thing left to happen.
Another pair of waves? Who gave me these?
Another pair? Who?
Don't do it. Do not do it. Please don't do it. I love how this episode just kind of hits all the main tropes. This was solid. Like I said, the one before this was my favorite. I give this one a 7 out of 10, and I give the one Mad About the Utah like a 9 out of 10. That one was really good. Like, I'm telling you, that one's really good. That was our ultimate Disney holiday episodes recap. I want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas, a Happy Holidays, a heck of a Hanukkah, a wonderful Kwanzaa, a Grateful to Jesus Day. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, do not forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Y'all be safe out there. The holidays are crazy. I hope this video brought some type of, I don't know, I hope it got you in the Christmas spirit just a little bit. Just a little bit. Sometimes, you know, you get older. Christmas just ain't Christmas. Christmas just ain't Christmas. I hope that you come back to this video every year and just relive the nostalgia with me. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I will be doing more of these recaptions soon. And so if you like the concept or the idea and you're new, subscribe. And I hope you guys have a great holiday. Do not forget that Jesus is the reason for the season. And I will see you in the next one. It's your girl, Lakia J. Bye.